Hello, great to have your company on Kalkine TV. I'm James Preston and welcome to Kalkine Sports, where we take a look at all of the major sporting news on and off the field for the week. In this episode, we'll take a look at the finances off the field with Sport Business. I'll catch up with Adam Santarossa for the wrap-up of the Euros, and Brett Phillips also joins the program to reflect on Ash Barty's Wimbledon triumph and to take a look at Australia's chances of claiming gold on the hard courts for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Now let's start off our news with direct results heading into the Olympics itself. Australian Boomers basketball side is in hot form coming into the games. The Boomers are now 3 from 3 for their pre-games exhibition warm-up series, having claimed a thrilling comeback win over Argentina 87-84 on Sunday in Game 1. The Boomers managed a piece of history in their second match, defeating gold medal favourites USA for just the second time in their history on Monday, 91-83, before completely and absolutely drubbing Nigeria 108-69 on Wednesday. Australia's final pre-Olympics match will be on July 19 against the USA, who are reeling, having suffered back-to-back losses in exhibition games for the first time since professionals began playing all the way back in 1992. Paddy Mills has been instrumental so far in the exhibitions, and he will of course act as one of the 2 flag bearers come the opening ceremony on July 23. And there will be more Olympics news shortly when I catch up with Brett Phillips in the world of tennis, but turning our attention now to rugby union. And the Wallabies have hit a new low, losing to France on home soil for the first time in 31 years. France claimed a clinical 28-26 win on Tuesday night at Melbourne's Amy Park, just a matter of days after the Aussies scraped home against their European counterparts. The best-of-3 series will wrap up this Saturday at Suncorp Stadium in Queensland. From rugby union to rugby league, and the first week of what could be an indefinite relocation of the NRL to Queensland begins. The 10 New South Wales-based clubs, the Canberra Raiders and the New Zealand Warriors, have been placed into one of 3 base camps spread across the Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast and Brisbane. Players and staff have been in the Sunshine State for the past week in preparation for Round 18 action, but in a stunning backflip, the Queensland Government and Anastasia Palaszczuk has decided that the families of the players and staff will now not be permitted to join the competition bubble. The decision from Palaszczuk has been further criticised, given the Labor Premier's decision to head to the Tokyo Olympics despite her historic hardline stance on border closures and general travel since the beginning of the pandemic. Still in Queensland and still on rugby league, the State of Origin series for 2021 has wrapped up and the Blues were unable to register their 4th ever series clean sweep, going down to the Maroons in a nail-biting 20-18 loss at Gold Coast Cbus Super Stadium. Latrell Mitchell had a late chance to tie the match with a 50-metre penalty goal, but the attempt fell agonisingly short. Despite the loss, New South Wales still wrapped up the series 2-1, with Tom Trbojevic claiming the Wally Lewis medal as the player of the series. In the world of cricket, Australia have fallen short in the West Indies, with the home side claiming the first 3 matches in a best-of-5 T20 series, but the Aussies finally claimed a win in the 4th match on Thursday, inspired by all-rounder Mitch Marsh, who belted 75 runs off 54 balls and also took 3 wickets for 24 runs, in arguably the best performance of his career. The final match is set to occur on Saturday, July 17. After the break, all the latest from the world of tennis with Brett Phillips, so stay with us here on Kalkine Sports.
New Zealand is unique, and Kalkine TV is here to bring you all the latest news and trending market updates. Streaming across multiple platforms, so no matter where you are, whether it be at the beach or on the farm, you can count on the team here at Kalkine TV to be your home for accessing the latest valuable insights into global issues that are affecting New Zealanders. Subscribe to our channels across YouTube, Facebook, also visit kalkine.co.nz.
Welcome back to Kalkine Sports on Kalkine TV. James Preston with you, and Wimbledon has wrapped up. And with a number of history-making results, all eyes now turn to the hard court at the Tokyo Olympics. And to dissect it all, I caught up with tennis commentator and journalist Brett Phillips a little earlier.
Well, Brett Phillips, once again, welcome to Kalkine Sports.
Thank you, James. Nice to chat as always.
Yeah, always great to catch up, mate. Now, let's start with a real feel-good story. Ash Barty making history by claiming her first Wimbledon title.
Incredible. I think it's now officially sunk in. It probably took about 48 hours, and I was lucky enough to call the final on the radio over the weekend, and I've got to say, in the moment, James, it was and a lot of what you do in this industry can be a bit of a blur at times when you're commentating sort of week to week, and I would say it's probably the best moment I've been involved in. And
wow.
I love my footy. I love my footy. I call the footy every week, and there are exhilarating moments week in, week out with footy, but this being on the international stage, an Australian winning Wimbledon, it doesn't happen very often, as we know. It's pretty special, and just to see how the rest of the world love Ash Barty as much as we do. They love her tennis. They appreciate her laid-back nature, her humility, just the way she engages. She's got universal popularity, really, wherever she goes. So, yeah, it was probably a combination of euphoria and relief that she actually got the job done in a match that sort of went to script, because 5 of their previous 7 meetings had gone to 3 sets, and Ash had a chance to close it out in straight, couldn't quite get there, but when she hits that reset button, her skill set prevailed, which was outstanding. So hopefully it's not just a one-off.
Well, Brett, let's move from one player who has universal adoration to another who is often the source of a lot of condemnation. Novak Djokovic, another big victory for him. It takes his Grand Slam total to 20, which of course puts him on level peggings, the same as Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer.
Yeah, and likely to pass both of them by some margin, I would think, if he stays fit and healthy for the next 3 years of his career. And he's a terrific athlete. The Australian Open, Wimbledon are the two that he could keep winning and winning. The French maybe opens up a little bit more now with Rafa getting a year older next year, and we saw him not quite get there this year. Maybe there's a chance that, Djokovic could win 1 or 2 more French Opens. The US Open has always been the tricky one. He has won it a few times, but never got on a roll there. And I think it's more to do with the timing of the US Open, the back end of the year, a few niggles, a little bit of fatigue sets in as well. And he hasn't always been totally cherry ripe. But I think you'll find that, he'll probably pull out of the Olympics as well as Roger Federer. That news being announced in the last few days. I would think Djokovic is now going, this is a pretty brutal schedule. I've claimed 3 of the slams. I want that 4th one to be only the second man in tennis history to claim the calendar Grand Slam after Rod Laver. So that's where I think his energies will certainly go into, but more to come certainly on that. Yeah, but he was sublime. He conceded the first set in the final to Berrettini, but after that, he just clicked into gear. He defended beautifully. I mean, some have argued that he didn't maybe beat the strongest field all the way through, but you can only beat who's on the other side of the net. And regardless, whether it was Roger, Rafa, or anyone else underneath, at the moment, you have to acknowledge he is the best player in the world. He's just too good at what he does. And he won't always have that universal popularity. But I think towards the back end of his career, when Federer's done and Nadal retires, I think maybe people might really just appreciate his tennis for what it is and what he's going to achieve.
Yeah, well, it could take 2 decades, but he might finally get some sort of adoration, which, let's be real, I think there is a part of him that definitely craves it. Yes, he feeds off, I suppose, the angst a lot of the time, but definitely part of that is in there, that's for sure. But let's just touch on Roger Federer himself as well now. Obviously, getting quite old, nearly 40 years old. It's just a couple of years away, in fact. I know we're going to have Olympics in 3 years instead of 4 moving forward, but you'd imagine this is probably the last one that he could have participated in. Are we seeing the beginning of the end for Roger Federer? It's been a slowing few years, and now it really does seem to be speeding up.
No doubt. Yeah, I think the knees are worry. I mean, he's had the 2 surgeries. His reason for pulling out of Tokyo is that he's got a little bit of knee soreness again as a result of playing at Wimbledon. It's really touch and go with the knee, and his physical shape is going to determine how long he plays. And maybe his body is telling him that we might need to fast track that decision. But I don't think he wants to call time yet. The competitive juices are still flowing. They're all on 20 apiece, and he'll hold out, some belief that maybe the plans can align and that he could win one more, which would be just the icing on the cake of an unbelievable career. But the reality is, very few sports people get to finish with the fairy tale. So at some point, he's got to work out where and when I'm going to exit the sport. And I think it's the body. If the body just can't go any further, or it's going to be really stop-start from here, that might fast-track the decision. But we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed he can get back to Australia. Fingers crossed we can get him out on the tour at the back end of this year to play some tournaments. And hopefully we haven't quite seen the end of Roger just yet.
Yeah, it'll be a very sad day when he goes, that's for sure. Brett, just before I let you go, sticking with the Olympics itself, how do you rate the chances of the Aussies? Obviously, Ash Barty, big win that's just happened. A couple of good young Aussie men as well, whether it's Jordan Thompson or Alex de Minaur passing through. We could be seeing, hopefully, some sort of podium finish.
Well, I think it opens up the draws, particularly on the men's side. If Novak's not going to be there, Roger's not going to be there, we know Rafa's not going to be there. Suddenly the men's game just looks totally different, and there's more opportunities for a lot of guys to get up there and medal at the Olympics. So, hopefully Alex de Minaur's in a good frame of mind. It's going to be a hard court in Tokyo. He can play well on any surface, Alex, and, put the disappointment of going out in the first round of Wimbledon behind him, because before then he'd been in terrific form on the tour. So hopefully, he can get a really good result. Ash is having a week off as we speak, and should be cherry ripe. She wants to add more success to her calendar this year, so she's certainly going to lead the charge. Tom Lanovich with a quarter at Wimbledon brings some good form in. I think the doubles is where we could have some good success. Storm Sanders has had a very good year in doubles, so that's where I feel like we might be able to medal. We've got some good combinations there on both the men's and the women's side, but it's going to be very different, as we know, to a very tight bubble with no crowds. It's going to be a very strange Olympic Games, but for a lot of people, it hasn't stopped them going. I think Australia's got a 500 strong team overall across all sports, because a lot of the athletes would be looking at this being maybe their one opportunity to go to an Olympics, regardless of the circumstances.
No, you're not wrong. And final thing as well, because it's just struck me there as we're talking about, potential gold medals and things like that. For our viewers out there who might not be aware, is there any sort of indication of, depending on how they perform in the Olympics, that, for example, the ATP rankings get affected, or is that completely separate for this tournament?
I don't think it's anything to do with the ATP rankings, no. So the ITF, obviously, that's part of their charter, is organising the Olympic Games and who becomes eligible. Obviously, your ATP ranking makes you eligible, but I'm pretty sure there's no ATP points up for grabs as a result of competing at the Olympic Games.
Brilliant, Brett. As always, you're on the spot, mate. Every ace, every double fault, you've got it covered. Appreciate you so much for joining the show once again, and hopefully we can chat soon on Kalkine Sports.
Pleasure, James. Talk soon.
Now, at the time of catching up with Brett yesterday afternoon, Alex de Minaur was looking like Australia's most likely candidate for a podium finish in the men's singles draw for the Olympics. But as of this morning, de Minaur has contracted COVID-19 and has now officially been ruled out of the Olympics. And I'll make sure to keep you across any developments for Alex. And in the meantime, we are hoping for a very, very speedy recovery for him. Time now to take a look at the beautiful game. There is plenty happening in the world of football, and there's only one way to catch up on all of it. That's by catching up with Adam Santarossa.
Well, Adam Santarossa, thanks so much for joining Kalkine Sports once again.
Good to be here, James.
Great to have you. Let's start off with the Euros. Now, on a personal note, I'm sure you're very happy with an Italian victory, but wouldn't have quite been a final without some incredible drama to close it out.
Safety call.
Yeah, what an amazing game. I mean, we really, football purists were loving the final, given it was two real heavyweights of the competition in England and Italy, and they certainly delivered. I mean, it was really gripping, fascinating stuff, edge of your seat drama for the 90 minutes, and really a game that was real tops and turvy. I mean, England really got the tactics right out of the gate, got the early goal, but as the game went on, they really struggled to peg back Italy. Italy certainly looked a better side in the second half, and then going into extra time. And obviously, there's been some criticism of Gareth Southgate and some of his tactics, and which I tend to agree with some of them. I felt they were a little bit negative, but in terms of the game itself, just such a gripping game, and really it captured the attention of the world, and delivered some drama in some content.
Yeah, so much drama. And you're right. I think Gareth Southgate has come under plenty of criticism. So, things such as, leaving Jack Grealish on the bench for as long as he did, not seeing action until very late in the piece, also bringing on a few fresh players who then went on to take penalties. It was some interesting times there, but of course he's also been defending the players in the press conference. So I think he's shown his leadership qualities. Do you think he'll still be around come the next Euro and potentially moving forward for a long period?
Yeah, there obviously immediately after the final, there was a lot of negativity around the missed opportunity, which is now, you look back to the World Cup where they really should have made the final there as well, falling to Croatia in the semi-final. So there's a couple of times now they've really missed their moment. And as much as it's a negative, and I feel, my opinion is, I thought Gareth Southgate was negative for most of the tournament. I felt England had opportunities. You mentioned Grealish. I felt he should have come on a little bit earlier. Where Italy were taking the game over in that second half, I just felt there was a real opportunity for England to, take the game on and win it in extra time or win it in the 90 minutes. We didn't see much out of Harry Kane, and I thought, inject Grealish into the side a little earlier. Jadon Sancho on the bench as well, you could have turned to. And his decision to put Henderson on and Saka on, I felt was just negative. And I think it was playing for, it wasn't wanting to take a risk. And I think we've seen that through the tournament. Although they were getting results, I just felt, they were just getting by with a single goal here or there, a little bit of luck as well. And you look at the attacking options they had on their bench, I'm just a bit puzzled why I didn't go to them, because, they could really tear teams off the park. And I think if they can find that, they are certainly a contender to win the World Cup. They are one of the best teams in the world. And although the Euro finals are negative, they are there for the World Cup. That team could certainly win the World Cup in, 18 months' time.
Yeah, well, quite bizarre as well. You mentioned Henderson there. He played only, I think, about 56 minutes. So he actually came on as a sub and then was sub once again heading to penalties. But he is someone who can certainly slot one. So that in itself was quite peculiar. Before we get to the penalties itself and the fallout that's come from that, I want to touch on what I believe should have been a red card. Chiellini coming in, grabbing Saka by the neck and throwing him to ground, a really cynical foul. I know you've got other players back towards the centre of the field that are sort of covering in defence, but the nature of the foul itself, and given the context of when it occurred in the game and the player who was running away with plenty of speed, that's got to be very close to a red card, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, that was one that certainly came into the spotlight. I don't necessarily agree with that, thinking it was a red card. I agree with your summation of the challenge. It was certainly, a deliberate foul, and Chiellini knew exactly what he was doing. But, it was just one of those things that, hey, I'm done for pace here. You see it, and it's a cut and dried yellow card. I think it would have been a bit extreme to go to the red. But in terms of the send-off, I thought Jorginho was very lucky to stay on the field. I think particularly with the assistance of VAR available now, whenever you come in, foot raised, studs showing, and you make contact like he did, I felt he was very lucky. As someone that obviously is an Italian supporter, even I thought he was very lucky to stay out there. So I think Italy dodged a couple of bullets there in terms of those two tackles.
Yeah, well, look, Jack Grealish was pointing at his leg saying, look, he's got me right here. You can see the stud mark. So it definitely got him, that's for sure. Now, let's touch on some of the fallout off the back of this match itself. It's pretty much all in the racial space. Channel 7, for example, had a shocking post the other day, which included in its title, and I quote, 3 black players missed penalties. Now, completely unnecessary. The players themselves, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Bukayo Saka, they've all been subject to vile racial slurs on social media. And following the game, The Guardian in the UK, they've run an analysis of about 585,000 social media posts, which were directed at the English team for Euro 2020, the tournament overall. And they found there were 44 messages that had explicitly racist comments, 2,000 were abusive. And off the back of all of that, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has now spoken that he'll be looking to find a path to protect players from such abuse moving forward, including banning online racists from actually attending matches. What's your take on it all, and what do you think needs to happen moving forward so we don't see a repeat of what we have over the last couple of days?
I mean, obviously, it's disgraceful behaviour from fans to vent their frustrations, and they've got a right to be frustrated and a right to be disappointed in the result, but to attack the race of their players and anyone really anywhere in the world is a bit of a joke and a disgrace. So I think the positive to come out of it has been the support that's come behind mainly Marcus Rashford, but all three players. There's petitions circulating that have got millions of signatures to have stronger punishments for fans on social media that are guilty of this, to ban them from attending football games for life. And I'm an advocate of that. I think it's certainly something that they need to wipe out. We've seen over the last couple of seasons the rising remonstrations around racism and footballers against racism, and I think this is just another example that more needs to be done, and I think more will be done. And I think the pleasing thing is so many are getting around these players and supporting them and saying this is not on. I think that's the good in a lot of bad. That's the positive that's come out of it.
Yeah, Adam, well said. I mean, it very much is the world game, which means there's people of all races, all colours and creeds playing. So it's always something that you've got to approach with respect. Now, just before I let you go as well, I know we've spent a lot of time talking about the Euros. It wasn't the only major final that was on. Of course, the Copa America wrapping up, and Leo Messi finally getting a major trophy for his country.
Yeah, that was a real feel-good story of the tournament, and it was something that he lacked in his international career. I mean, he has been so dominant for Barcelona and in club football, but he just has never had that highlight with Argentina, and now he finally has that major tournament. He's fallen at that last hurdle so many times, and so many of us thought it was over. Like he stepped away from Argentina a few years ago, so to come back and get his moment, and you just never know what could happen now. I mean, Argentina are one of those sides that are always in the mix come a World Cup. It's only 18 months away in Qatar in 2022, so you just never know. But it is good to see Messi and Argentina finally get that moment.
Yeah, and of course, reports now that he has actually signed on for an extension with Barcelona up until 2026, so the future's sort of there. But we'll see if there is another major piece of silverware in his international future moving forward. Adam Santarossa, once again, thank you so much for joining Kalkine Sports.
My pleasure.
For Messi fans, that Copa America win now very much has them proclaiming GOAT status over Cristiano Ronaldo, but for mine, you still cannot split them. After the break, we wrap up the show by taking a look at the finances off the field with Sports Business.
Property by Kalkine. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on Kalkine TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with Kalkine.
Hi, this is Andy Liu broadcasting from Kalkine Media Studio in Australia, and I'll be hosting the new Kalkine Wellness Show. The half-hour show will cover topics from how wellness as a concept has become even more significant during COVID, to how becoming vegan may improve your health, and much more. We are excited to showcase our live streaming show to our audience of millions overseas and in Australia. Tune in to Kalkine TV and join me.
Great to have your company on Kalkine TV, and as they often say, sport is now big business, and on Kalkine Sports it's now time to take a look at the finances off the field. Well, with the on-court action wrapped up for 2021, organisers have quickly turned their attention to the competition's finances. The All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, the organisers of the Wimbledon Championships, have extended the competition deal with Keith Prowse to be its official hospitality provider up until 2026. Keith Prowse's parent company, CPG, has had a middling week. It started the morning of July 15 trading at $1.45.2 and then jumped upon the announcement to hit $1.47 before dipping again on Thursday evening. For the English Premier League, newly promoted club Brentford has hit the ground running and has signed a global operations platform, a deal with global operations platform Safety Culture as its sleeve sponsor. The 2-year contract will see the brand's logo visible on the left sleeve of Brentford's kit across its first team, B team and also its women's team. The sleeve sponsorship designation is one that has opened up for Brentford upon gaining its promotion into the Premier League, with the asset not available to clubs in the English Football League Championship. Safety Culture was founded in Australia and earlier this year completed a $73 million round of fundraising, taking the total revenue raising to over $180 million. The company has a market valuation of $1.3 billion and has also been backed by former PM Malcolm Turnbull. And just as we wrap up the show, the Korean Tokyo Olympics rights have been purchased by Naver Group earlier this week. This has resultantly seen Naver's shares skyrocket by 7.17% over the past 5 days. That's all the time we've got on Kalkine Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show. Another edition coming your way next Friday on Kalkine TV.